When you scroll through your social feed, Bali looks so effortless. Sun-drenched beaches, floating breakfasts, and total freedom. But touchdown in 2026, and that carefree illusion hits a wall of logistics. The island has matured, and it now enforces strict entry protocols, mandatory cultural preservation laws, and complex regional transport rules. For first-time visitors, the challenge is clear. How do you capture that relaxing, authentic trip without stumbling into sudden fines, hours stuck at immigration, or unknowingly offending the local community? It comes down to a direct trade-off between proactive bureaucracy and experiential friction. This table shows exactly what that looks like. You can no longer just walk off the plane. You have to invest time up front, paying the tourist levy, securing your e-visa, and learning local dress codes. Skip that prep work, and you face the friction. Deportations for expired visas, invalid insurance claims after a scooter crash, and denied entry to sacred sites. Treating your trip as an administrative investment before you leave home is the only reliable way to guarantee a seamless experience once you arrive. A smooth arrival actually begins months before your departure, starting with how you book your flights. If you book during the shoulder season from January to March, you can save 20 to 30% on airfare. The trade-off is the weather. You will have to navigate predictable, heavy afternoon rainstorms. Next, you will need comprehensive travel insurance. Balinese hospitals require full out-of-pocket payments upfront before they treat you for an emergency. This timeline outlines the digital bureaucracy you must complete, starting 1 to 3 months out with your electronic visa. The second milestone is a mandatory $10 environmental tax. Finally, 3 days before your flight, complete the All Indonesia Arrival Card to generate your QR codes. Spending $42.30 on your laptop buys you fast access to the automated airport e-gates, letting you bypass the massive manual immigration lines entirely. Bali has no reliable public transit. The infrastructure relies on narrow, single-lane roads that quickly bottleneck with a chaotic mix of trucks, cars, and pedestrians. To navigate this, the most popular option is renting a scooter for about $10 a day, giving you the mobility to weave through the gridlock. Police checkpoints strictly enforce licensing. If you ride without a motorcycle endorsement and an international driving permit, your travel insurance is completely voided in accidents. If you prefer not to drive, ride-hailing apps like Grab and Gojek offer extremely affordable point-to-point transit in the densest areas. However, local taxi cartels have established no-go zones. These apps can drop you off at popular beaches or clubs, but they are legally banned from picking you up there. This leaves the third option, hiring a private driver for a full 8 to 10-hour day, which costs between $40 and $70. You get a safe, air-conditioned vehicle with a local expert who handles all the parking and insulates you entirely from the stress of the traffic. You shouldn't pick your transport based purely on budget. Choose it based on your legal driving qualifications, your tolerance for physical risk, and how far across the island you plan to explore. Outside the traffic, Bali's cultural sites demand equal preparation. The island's temples are living, sacred spaces, and the local councils introduced strictly enforced conduct rules in 2025. To enter any temple, you must adopt this exact dress code: covered shoulders, a wrapped sarong, and a sash securely tied at the waist. Behavior is heavily regulated too. You cannot take selfies inside the inner sanctum, you cannot climb on the statues, and traditional customs require women to pause their visits if they are menstruating. The most profound logistical impact of these traditions occurs every March during the Balinese New Year. The night before the New Year, the streets fill with massive ogo-ogo parades, where communities carry giant, colorful demon effigies to drive away evil spirits. But the very next morning, on March 19, 2026, the noise stops completely for Nyepi, the Day of Silence. The entire island empties out. The airport shuts down, all outdoor lights remain off, and tourists are forbidden from leaving their hotels for 24 hours. Accepting these customs, even when they restrict your movement or stop you from taking a photo, is the mandatory entry price to experience the island's authentic culture. This flowchart maps how your game plan changes depending on your daily budget. For a budget optimizer spending $35 to $55 a day, you have zero margin for error. You must secure an international driving permit to legally ride a scooter. You also need to eat exclusively at local warings. Mid-range restaurants quietly add a 21% government tax and service charge to your final bill, which will break a strict daily budget. For the mid-range planner, spending $110 to $160 a day, your highest return on investment goes towards transport. Allocating $60 daily to a private driver is the best way to eliminate logistical friction, letting you hit multiple sites without fighting traffic. Across all budgets, the universal rule remains the same. The era of simply winging it in Bali is dead. If you pay your levies, respect the local customs, and embrace the proactive bureaucracy 30 days before your flight, Bali is still one of the most uniquely rewarding destinations on Earth.